Good evening, guys. Welcome back to our last match of today. It is Liquid versus DK, and well, a lot of people kind of expecting our last match to maybe not have a whole lot of meaning, but we've kind of rolled the dice a bit, and this match is to deciding the last team to go into the playoff brackets. 3 of the teams are decided. We've got Alliance finishing first in the group, LGD second, Orange, well, third/tied third. The winner of this match is going to join Orange in that third, fourth place decider match. It's Team DK versus USA, Team Liquid.
The true USA champions. You know, they came in here, they didn't look the best, and they've only got 1 win, but crazy enough, if they just get the second win, they can secure a spot for
When
themselves.
that one wins against IG, it's like, well, they can go home, at least with that on under their belt, although it's on IG who are looking all too sharp. We are now in the draft here. We've got Liquid playing over on the Radiant side. They've got the first pick. If there's ever a time for a pocket draft, if you've got anything up your sleeves, bring it out now. Look at Fluff, man. That guy's got some serious
confidence. That's swag. All right. So we see the wristband out.
The stash.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you see him just look straight into the
Oh
camera?
my god, this is
Ike's Mike's
fantastic.
confidence.
I love how they give IX Mike like an
Wow,
extra
did
like
you
10
see,
seconds on camera.
Boba's little shirt flip. Oh
That's-
man.
Boba does, I don't know, he's not looking as confident as usual.
Ike's Mike soaked it all up.
He's got his game face on.
But anyways,
Yeah.
we're into the
This is,
draft. That gyro pickup by DK,
Yeah.
they seem to just go for that every time. I mean, I think every time I've casted them almost, they've gone for that gyro in the first pick,
Yeah.
and they pick it up here again, and the Visage pick, which I
We've seen a lot of
agree
Visage.
with.
It seems to be the new like high tier pick as well. We'll quickly see the last couple of DK players here at the live event. They're looking a bit withdrawn and quiet. I mean, they're not. This isn't. I guess. I mean, they obviously won't be feeling too good after going so poorly here in the group stage. There's Burning, your captain, your all-star carry player.
I think that's a large reason why the gyro's picked up this early, just because.
I love ROTK. That guy's just so happy
10
and lovable
remaining.
as he stands up, and I guess he's going to join his team for the draft here.
5
We'll hop in
seconds
now. And
remaining.
you guys can see the draft at home.
The gyrocopter, though, you know, it represents that faith that they have in Burning,
Reserve
right?
time.
That if, you know, we can take it late, we have the best farmer.
Yeah.
And we're going to pick him something that adds to that.
Radiant team back.
And on top of that, for Team Liquid, we've got the Nyx band out and the Bat Rider. Those are the disrupting heroes that really make it difficult for them to move around. Shadow Demon going to be picked up first here, followed by the Lone Druid and the Clockwork. That Clockwork, they absolutely love going to that and giving it to Boba, and he does a fantastic job with that hero. He's one of the best players at really using the cogs, like really to its full potential, not just using it for the mana burn, but using it as the place disruptor
Yes.
for the middle of the fights and just cutting off teams from each other.
He loves to go for the force up. He can just hook in, cog a carry hero, then force out, and then they're trapped. And
Exactly.
then you fight everyone else.
And then the Darks are going to be picked up for
DK's
DK. So
turn to
now
ban.
they have their support. They have a support. They have
We've
they
seen
have
a
a long
lot of
lane hero, and they have a carry.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of burning on that gyrocopter, and it's been mixed results. I feel like it hasn't gone all too well. If anything, it feels like they almost need to go back for their standard full protect one with anti-mage, because this new style of theirs. Yeah, I don't know. They look good against Alliance, even though that lost that game, but we'll see.
The movement just kind of feels a little clunky out of DK is what
Yeah.
it is. And so when they try to play this aggressive style, it doesn't seem to work for them. And I mean, we saw it against IG where they were kind of forcing things and not exactly, you know, just
10
playing it really
seconds
smoothly.
remaining.
And it just didn't work out for them. But, you know, the gyrocopter I
5
like.
seconds
It
remaining.
represents faith in Burning's ability to just farm. I think Gyro is the premier, just straight up farmer.
He doesn't play it so much as a like late game hard carry though. He'll go for a fast BKB. He'll actually come to fight. DK's new playstyle is more mid game fight. That's why they're
Yeah.
picking up the
Oh,
Visage,
I completely
Darkseer.
agree.
They'll go for a fast
But
mech.
if things go terribly wrong,
Yeah.
you have the Gyro to always
Yeah.
kind of back you up.
It's a
so.
backup plan.
And Alchemist actually banned. That's a hero that
Slark
prior
ban.
to this, yeah, that's a
That's what.
respect ban.
Yeah.
That's one of those things like we do not want to play against that. I don't think I've seen it picked very often at all in the Eastern scene, right? No, that's not really a hero.
Chuan did say in an interview about before Slack was picked by Liquid in any competitive match, Chuan said he thinks Slack is going to be the next potentially popular carry hero, but it hasn't actually been seen. IG haven't
10
picked it. There hasn't been
seconds
any
remaining.
actual Slack play by the Eastern team. It was just a comment by Chuan in an interview. I think it was
5
Ghost Games where he
seconds
said
remaining.
Slack next big hero in the metagame.
Yeah,
Western
but-
teams proved him right, which was the funny thing.
So it's something, you know, but I think they're not comfortable about playing against it, and why start now, right?
Yeah.
I think Team Liquid actually, should have gone for the Slark a little earlier in their previous games, because, I mean, Korok plays that hero really well. It fits their playstyle for him, you know, a snowball ganker that is always on the map, mobile, and it's difficult for the Chinese teams to play against if they haven't experienced it before.
Yes.
So that you know, that could have been a great pick for them, but they do get some of their signature heroes out. We've got the Lone Druid for TC. Fluff once told me that that guy never roots.
But he plays it, apart from the lack of roots.
Yeah, he plays it really well.
Yeah.
And Bulba playing that signature clockwork of his. Shadow Demon, such a great support. I mean, pretty good draft so far by Liquid.
I want to see some Korok Storm Spirit here. It's the only thing that's maybe missing. We need that sort of Korok hero for the mid lane. Other hero would be the Puck.
Oh yeah, definitely. And all those little mobile heroes, Korok plays so well. You know, creating space, looking to just create a lot of space for his team, snowballing up. That's the way that Korok likes to play. DK, 2 respect bans off the bat for him. 1 of the Slark, 1 of the Queen of Pain. Just not wanting to deal with either of those heroes. It looks like Team Liquid still needs to pick some sort of... depends on where they put that clockwork. If they do the Lone Druid safe farm and support it out, then they need another support. Unless, I mean, I have seen clockwork support a few times, but I'd imagine that's going to, in all honesty, probably the long lane.
Yeah. Either long lane or I guess Liquid occasionally do it mid. A lot of the other Chinese teams like run it mid, but Liquid generally put it into the off lane, something that Bulba does play pretty damn well.
Yeah, but I think they need a mid here and a support.
Yeah. Chen's still in the pool.
Yes,
Fluff and stuff,
still definitely is in the pool.
Ooh.
And
TA, but that's a Korok hero.
That is another Korok hero, but we still have the Puck. We still have the Storm Spirit, as you saw. Actually, Storm would be quite good in a lineup like this. They don't have too many disables. I feel like DK...
before that against Darkseer would definitely help.
Before that draft, the last game where they picked a ton of stuns, they were lacking a lot of stuns. And that seems to be kind of... like, whenever I see a team pick that few stuns, I always get a little bit worried. Like, the last game with IG's lineup, what did they have? They had the Tether?
They had CK stun.
And they had CK stun and Tether.
5 seconds
and that was it.
Later on, they had an Orchid on Queen of Pain.
Yeah, but not nearly enough disable. And I feel like disables in games where like the draft is really close, that's what's going to make the difference. So
you pick up like some hero that you need the lockdown to kill, like a late pick, a Weaver, whatever it may be. Storm Spirit obviously being the bigger one that you need disables for.
I'd like to see Team Liquid pick something that can go through.
I think if they want to go Storm, I think if they're picking Storm, they pick it last. So force DK to pick another hero before they see the Storm. Pick up the support here. It's not going to be the Chance, it's going to be the Enchantress.
Enchantress.
DK's turn to pick.
Okay, they probably, I mean, after Alliance winning with it last game, they're probably feeling a bit more confident about that hero now. They ran it earlier on in the competition, I think it was yesterday, without too much success, but...
It adds a lot of DPS too to your team, and also on top of that, you're not as reliant on the creeps, which Gyrocopter just kind of barrels through a lineup with Chen in it with Flak Cannon, because it doesn't, you know, it's not, he's getting off his back, because Flak will hit everything.
Yeah.
So DK looking themselves for another support, and I'd imagine a mid, unless, I mean, crazy Darkseer mid stuff has happened before, but I'd imagine it'd be for them as well. They need a support in a mid. Looks like Team Liquid just needs a mid here too, and I'm actually getting a disconnect. No, I'm good.
Right. Good to hear. Yeah, DK, I definitely think a support here. They, not known for their jungle play, probably won't be seeing anything like a Chen, mostly something to combo with a Visage. The thing is, you've got Visage, Gyrocopter, this is your trialing. You need to set up a stun, a slow, something to lead things off, which I guess maybe is a Jakiro at this point, especially if you're considering Liquid to go aggressive with an Enchantress. I think Jakiro may be the best option for
There's a Leshrac and an Earthshaker as well, and there's that Kunkka.
Yeah.
That's actually going to negate a lot of the damage of Liquid, and they don't have enough bursts on Liquid to just kind of take somebody down immediately.
This either could put Gyrocopter to the mid lane, or we've seen the solo mid Kunkka from Zhao Wei. So lots of different ways to play this, but definitely something which can be a setup for their tri-lane as well.
So what supports do we have left? We've got, for DK anyways, we've got the Leshrac, the Earthshaker that we've seen them actually liable to pick.
Jakiro.
There's the Jakiro as well, who's a great space. All three of those great.
They're initiated as well. Like if there's a Lina in the pool, but Lina, you can't really rely on a Light Strike array to lead things off. I guess you could Grave Chill for the slow, but it doesn't seem all that reliable.
We've got a Puck, a Storm. Actually, I'd really like to see a Storm in this because of, you know, my personal allegiance to the hero.
Liquid need to go. I mean, it's one of Korok's big heroes. Short Puckers as well. They need to go up flying.
There it is. We called it.
Okay.
And we've got a Storm Spirit out on the map. And actually, the reason I like this though, almost no reliable disables on DK.
Yeah.
And if you get a BKB, the Kunkka becomes useless as well with the axe. And so Storm actually has no way of dying as long as he plays it really smart.
If you're DK, you almost feel like you need to go for a different support with some additional lockdown. A Lion or a Shadow Shaman. Something which can give you...
Yeah, you're going to need to play greedy now with the support.
The only problem is what those greedy supports, like a Lion, let's say, we get your 2 disables, your burst in from a finger, so prone to getting picked off by a Clockwork.
And a Storm.
Yeah, Clockwork will be
5
looking for that
seconds
squishy support every single fight. Yeah, and like you say, sure they have the disables to kill Storm, but Storm once he's an Orca can just jump on them and completely just zap them right off the bat. So it works both ways.
Yes, definitely. And I actually really like the synergy between Clockwork and Storm.
10 seconds.
I don't know if you mentioned that. I kind of zoned
Yeah.
out for half a second, but DK, there's that Lion. Gods, you are a genius. I'm giving you this look right now, thinking like, wow,
See.
you are this prophet of his. But there's that Lion pick. I completely agree with that. They needed something like that. You can't rely on a hero like Jakiro. Jakiro
Yeah.
does nothing against a hero like Storm. A Lion, on the other hand, it's a high-risk, high-reward support. It does take a lot of levels. Let's be real here. You need a lot of levels in your Hex and your Stun to be able to properly disable. So he's going to be that hero that's going to be constantly, consistently pulling.
Yep.
And it does take away a little from your offensive potential in the tri-lane, but
But-
at the same time, you need it.
Yeah, Liquid don't have a lineup where they can punish this. Like, DK going greedy support, well, what's your tri-lane? Shadow Demon, and sure, you've got Shadow Demon Enchantress, but you don't have a good, like, offensive tri-lane hero. You've got a Clockwork, maybe, if you're doing a tri-lane Clockwork, like LGD Int style, but you don't have that offensive tri-lane hero like a Juggernaut or Lifestealer or anything like that, which
10
you can just say,
seconds
you're
remaining.
screwed line, you have to stay in lane, you can't use pulls, so...
Yes.
This is gonna
5
favor DK in the
seconds
early game, I feel,
remaining.
but Liquid, their bounce back is once they get their levels, hit level 6 on Clockwork, get Storm Spirit involved as we'll get ourselves into this game now. There we
Yes.
go.
I actually really like this draft by Liquid. They picked heroes that they're strong at. You know, they said, okay, we
Yeah.
look at your lineup, but we're going to do what we're comfortable with, and it actually works out perfectly for them as well.
I think if like we go back to our player cards, I think every Liquid player is on one of their core
Yeah.
heroes. We have each has 3, and I think TC had Lone Druid as one of his.
I'm sure he does. It's one of the heroes
Yeah.
he plays really well, but
Every other player on a signature hero.
I will run down Liquid for you
Okay.
as the American, my Aussie brother.
Yep.
So we've got TC going to be playing that Lone Druid, Korok on that Storm Spirit, Liquid Fluff, the captain, the man with the hair, going to be playing that Enchantress, Liquid Bulba, going to be playing that Clockwork, and IX Mike 88, Suavest Man in Esports, going to be playing that Shadow Demon.
Yep. Well, over on the dice, I feel like we need more. USA already has good teams, yet they claim every other good team. I feel like Australia needs to start doing the same thing.
All
where
right,
it's
so
like
okay, DK is the new Australian team. Let's do it.
DK or we want Liquid, man. Australia's going to claim Liquid.
no,
you
you-
guys, USA can have Alliance, but we want Liquid.
That
Like,
doesn't no.
You get the better team. The currently better team.
All right, okay. You know what? I can take that.
You can
So-
have your buddy EGM. I want
Alright.
Bulba. I want Ix Mike.
You know, you just-
hashtag Straya in the chat. Let's
yeah,
see
you
it.
can you can just kind of USA or is an anagram of
US.
AUS Oz.
Yep.
So you know, start the Oz chants right
we
now.
have the red, white, and blue on our flag as well. I think. I don't know. What's the Australian? There's
How do you
blue
not
on
know
there.
this? This
There's
is kinda
blue,
sad.
There's stars. There's a Union Jack, whatever that is. I don't know. I'm not a very good Australian.
Yeah, this is. I don't know if you deserve Liquid if you're gonna do it like this.
Okay, we're gonna make it personal. Well, we'll take DK then. Over on the dire side, we do have the boys from Australia. It's DK QQQ playing Visage. We've got Burning on the Gyrocopter, MMY or X playing Lion. One of his actual signature heroes, maybe because he used to play this hero solo mid all the
Yes.
time. Now playing it on support. We've got Super going to be playing Kunkka, and then ROTK on the Darkseer. Looks like we do have a bit of a pause.
That is all I've seen this guy play. Is
Darkseer.
that is that Darkseer? But you know, Super. Once you pick out like this, you know that he's gonna go mid with this. I really hope your Australian brethren do well. They've got kind of an octopus sea animal thing going for them as a courier too.
Yeah,
This
G1
actually
courier.
aligns perfectly for I think
Crazy
this is
sea animals.
disgusting. Yeah, exactly. So
It's like it's so bad this career that it's like it's funny. Like
It's
I,
good,
I,
yeah.
I just love this little icon. Like, what is this? Inky the octopus, I think it's called.
it's the Hexapus. So DK, the small town team from Australia. Nobody thought they could make it this far.
They've come all the way
They've
from
come all the
from
way.
rural Australia,
But
from somewhere like Dandenong, or
they
I don't
they
know.
made their way. They're the underdogs against this mighty
It's why
American
I'm wearing
squad.
my Australian flag jersey. This is actually one of Shatan's last official jersey that he ever wore in a competitive match. So this
Okay.
jersey has history to it.
Of course.
But we'll
30
see how
seconds
they
to
do.
battle.
We have got the tri-lane at top, as we expected. Both teams are running a safe. Well, actually, we didn't really say much about what Liquid will do with their lane. Shadow Demon Enchantress. I feel like they're not going to have like a set lane. They're going to look to roam a lot early
Oh, of
game. It's
course.
going to be a 3 solo, 2 roaming kind of strategy.
And they can actually put a lot of pressure on top. Top actually, I mean, they have the Lion Stun, of course, but aside from that, if they can bring a good creep along to tank the Rocket Barrage, they can get kills easily on the Lion at the very least. It's actually got the ugliest
I think the
item set
first
I've
gank we
ever
maybe
seen.
see is going to be pick up a couple creeps and look to gank Kunkka mid.
Yes.
Get Storm Spirit an early kill, and he's not going to be very well protected, and he's not going to have any way of preventing a smoke gank potentially.
Korok has my item build too. Obviously, I stole it off him, but Storm actually does quite well. I mean, this is the one avenue where I can actually offer expertise. I'm excited. But Storm does quite well in that Kunkka matchup, just because you can spam Remnant. You do take some damage from the Tidebringer, which kind of sucks. But aside from that,
You get a bottle.
yeah,
Yes, you shrug it off.
It should be fine. So this is a matchup where Storm can actually thrive. I actually look for Korok to get something along the lines of anywhere from 25 to 30 CS at the 5-minute mark, and then from there snowball.
One gank in the first 5 minutes, and I think Korok could, like you say, snowball out of control very, very fast. And that's something which DK, during these pauses, are probably saying, be ready for these ganks to happen. They don't really have a support who can sit behind him at any point. Neither of these are good, like nothing like an Earthshaker or even a Shadow Demon, which you can just sit behind him. So it's definitely the biggest sort of liability in this DK lineup is going to be this solo mid matchup.
Yeah, and actually, but you know, it's the team fights that's going to matter for DK. That's why they picked that Kunkka, just so they can have the Coco's rum out, maybe save some supports out of this. Super's going to get the first deny out.
Yep. Darkseid goes straight jungle is probably the other noticeable thing here. Doesn't even try go off lane, which to me I'm a bit surprised by. I guess you know there's two aggressive supports there, which you just don't want to have to play around with. But this means those supports can just go 100% jungle. They're never going to have to help out TC until someone rotates there, which definitely favors Liquid. This early game is really good for Liquid.
Yeah, this is actually a really scary thing. If you don't force the supports to be in the lane, it means that they can be anywhere on the map, and it makes the rest of your lanes have to play so defensively.
Yeah.
So I actually am kind of confused by this decision by ROTK. Just your farm's going to be a little better as Darkseer, but everywhere else will suffer a little bit.
No, definitely agree. This is just going to mean that Liquid supports get a lot more of the game farm. We've seen the importance of that. Orange Esports, a team who didn't get any farm on their supports at all, and they paid the price for that in their match against Alliance. The other game we were casting together last night. I'm about to say I have casted. I thought this was like my first casting. I'm like, wait, I casted yesterday. I've done
Definitely
somewhere.
did.
Well, here we go. First smoke gang of the game. It's not mid lane, it's top.
I told you. I called it, man. And they're actually going to go
Oh,
on
they're gonna
Bulba,
be
though,
too
and he's
late.
caught out.
The smoke gang is not going to arrive. And
Oh, the
Bulba gets
Rocket
the
Barrage
close
doing
off,
so much damage.
and this smoke is... Well, are they actually going to still go in? They're actually going to try this.
They've got two creeps.
Yeah, this is perfect. Two creeps. In-snare clap. They get both. Burner going to get brought down in return. He got the first one. No, he didn't get the first blood. He went to the
QQQ.
Facades. Okay. Meanwhile, mid lane, Super taking a lot of damage. Korok not going to go for this kill. Just going to... Man, Super's got 2 salves. Drops his Gauntlet of Strength. AUI would be so happy right now, he's been saying. These players need to drop items more. They need to tread swap more. He dropped his Gauntlet. It was only for half a second, though.
Yeah, but
Not
Korok
the full
doing quite decently in this matchup. I knew they would go top, actually, because this is what Liquid does. If DK had actually seen one of their games, when Fluff plays a hero like Chen or Enchantress, he actually plays a little sneaky, grabs the smoke off the bat, and then just dives.
I think I guess they're just confident in the fact that Korok will win mid lane regardless. Yeah. He's right now leading the CS, 15 CS to 10 CS, has more denies, has his bottle up, I believe. I think he's actually bottle crowing. I see the courier heading back to base, and he's got no bottle on him, so...
Yeah, and he's actually got boots to go with it, so he's actually beating Super quite handily. He's got
top
16.
lane, there's another kill. This one missed out, but DK finding another kill for them. And the great thing about this Shadow Demon Enchantress, now they're in the enemy jungle, is they can gank both top and mid so easily. This is easy access to the mid lane to go for ganks there.
Yeah, not the worst actually thing in the world though.
And they're keeping ROTK out of
ROTK. That means he actually might have to be forced to go down to the lane.
And it's a level 4 lone druid. He's gonna hit level 5 soon. May pick up an Orb of Venom, an Oov, if the Darkseid comes to lane.
For all those StarCraft 2 or StarCraft 1 fans. But anyways, Bulba does die, but he is gonna pick up some experience out of this now.
Yep. He's got the creep wave at his tower here. We have constant harass from Korok in mid lane.
Oh, they're gonna go in now.
Yeah.
The Cock should go down with this, and this should mean the end of Burning.
Well, it is a Visage. You can go for a return kill. May actually bring down IX Mike. There's a homing missile. Shadow Demon.
Oh my! And QQQ is actually just gonna get away. 200 HP.
I was too in shock there. I wasn't watching QQQ, but he's gonna get out of there. That was some big plays by IX Mike.
That slow motion Matrix rocket that he managed to just swat out of the air. Bulba actually getting quite a bit out of this lane now. He's level 3. He's been a part of a kill. He's got 6 CS, doing a lot better than I thought he would. And he hasn't, he's forced the supports to be up there. Whereas ROTK, he is doing slightly better, But, I mean, look at the kind of start that TC has. They punished Burning for both of those kills.
Yeah, Burning with 2 deaths. Now, RTK actually going to join this tri-lane somewhat, which I don't know whether that's a good idea or not. Super finds an Invis rune. And Fluff's rotating. So, Korok, level 6, not quite up just yet. That's where Ignorsi's look to see him rotate, help out some of these other lanes. I know you think Storm should be... You play more sort of like a heavy farmer. Do you think Storm should just keep sitting mid even when he hits 6, or should he look to rotate
Depends on how the lane goes. Oh, and he's actually going to go on Super, and just a lot of harass being done right now. And Korok dodges out. Super does pop the invis, but I mean, if he's farming so phenomenally well, especially at this pace, I mean, he's got 26 CS, and his supports are doing such a phenomenal job rotating around the map. If anything, I would avoid going top. Maybe try to start something for TC if ROTK does eventually start to go down there. But I mean, all 3 lanes are breaking even or winning for
TC
Liquid.
Has 36 CS. I'm curious if he's actually missed a CS all game long, because he's had no one in lane.
Yeah, he's actually...
In theory, you shouldn't have missed a CS.
He's going to punish DK, and this is actually the dream start that Liquid is looking for.
Yeah, everything going perfect. It's a 750 gold lead, but it feels like a lot more going their way than that. You've got Storm Spirit hero who's somewhat weak early on, prone to getting ganked before level 6, doing just fine. Your Lone Druid has absolute free farm, and your offensive trial lane is breaking even, which is fine because you don't have your farmer there. It's a Clockwork in the trial lane up against a Gyrocopter. Gyrocopter needs the farm more than the Clockwork
does. Oh, and QQQ going to get caught out here.
There's a homing missile coming out on IX Mike, but it looks like QQQ may be brought down here. Is it going to be... Actually, IX Mike to take a fall first. No, he's kept alive. They bring down QQQ.
Oh, Burning's going to go for it too, and I think this is a wrong choice.
This is his death. Surely. Fluff is actually taking damage from Lion. Can MMY bring this around? Fluff, the heal.
Oh my gosh!
Here comes Korok. They're going to bring down MMY. There's another zip in. Korok's out of mana. I don't think they can chase this much further. Korok's still going for it. MMY has a stun. Was actually looking to stun up Korok under the tower there, but 2 for 1 in favor of Liquid. Really nice play at the top lane.
Yeah, now Burning has died 3 times.
Oh my.
He actually does have 2 kills to go along with it, but every time he dies, the CS he's missing, and TC at bottom with 44 CS.
Farm is more important than kills, and Gyrocopter's not... I guess he's got 2 of those kills, but he needs the farm.
It's not
right
a good
now.
trade. I mean, dying 3 times for it, and especially since he only has 25 CS to go along with it. I mean, Korok's almost got double, or not Korok, TC almost has double his farm.
TC's almost gets his T1 bottom tower. Now the Darkseer TP's in, but even with Darkseer here, he can easily outlast him for this tower. And there we go. Orb of Venom. He picks it up as soon as Darkseer comes to the lane. Until that happened, he didn't even have the Orb of Venom.
Yeah. And your boys from Australia, man. Things are looking kind of a bit of a shaky start, but notice that Super actually hasn't joined the fights yet. Once that boat comes into play, that's where we're going to see whether or not
RTK bottom. IX Mike's rotated. And it's as soon as someone shows up bottom, IX Mike rotates. They get the kill. This could be a tower as well. I don't think anyone... Who else comes bottom to defend this tower? You haven't got anyone who really can. Super's just still chilling away at mid, and the support's burning at top lane. They're not defending this tier 1 tower. I think this is going to be a dead tier 1 going the way of TC. Darkseer will respawn, so maybe he can actually be the one who just TPs right back in, and they're not really pushing fast enough. So maybe it stays alive, but I love how Liquid send IX Mike at the perfect time to bottom lane.
Yeah, and actually, they rotate down, just protecting that TC farm. And this is really just good rotation by Team Liquid.
Yeah.
And, gosh, TC is going to have the fastest armlet, especially once he takes that tower. And then what do you do? The supports have to rotate down, but this line's only level 5.
And Dax is not rotating bottom. He goes to his jungle, so this is tier 1 tower, and like you say, one of the fastest armlets we've ever seen on the Lone Druid.
He's got phase boots to go along with it too, and boots on his bear. So he does get the last hit on the tower. That's 56 CS and a tower to boot and a kill to go on
They're
TC.
going for the tier 2, I think. They prepared to smoke up here. I think they were thinking that tier 1 may be defended, so like, let's bring our supports here, wrap them round. They didn't get anything for the tier 1 tower, but they'll go for the tier 2. He pops the ulti form to be a bit safer here, and they're hoping for a TP.
Yeah. And actually, 4 people on DK actually have a TP, but it's not just about TPing. It's about the positioning. This is way too late now. TC should just get a free tower. If you're going to defend this tower, you have to rotate sooner.
Dark's going to drop a 9 shell. Maybe they can look to try and go for a 9. Nope, not going to happen. TC with 2 towers in a row. That's going to be an armlet.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. He's got enough gold for that.
And TC's got phase boots and an armlet.
Korok ganked at mid. Hex. Torrent.
There's the boat.
Everything.
Oh, he's going to roll out. And he's going to go on die.
And
he should be able to pick him up as well. One more hit should do
he
it.
dodges the soul assumption as well. Really nice play. Here comes Bulba. Hook Cog on 2. QQQ may go down. Korok on the high ground. Can he get a remnant? And he can, but he gets torrented from the Conqueror as well. QQQ.
Oh, and they blow up Korok as well.
Finally does actually latch on with a soul assumption. That was some big plays coming out from Visage. They needed that kill on Korok so badly. They also killed the Clockwork. That looks so good for Liquid, but DK made something of it, and it was Super with that torrent just at the right time.
Yeah, that Torrent combo is really nice. The issue is that the lockdown isn't long enough for Korok to actually get hit by that boat.
Yeah.
As long as he's spamming that R key, I guess, for most people, then he should be able to get out. But meanwhile, I mean, you do break even there, but TC is so far ahead at this point. And Gyrocopter actually isn't getting too much out of this. It does have 42 CS, but it's against 69.
And it's with 3 deaths. As far as net worth goes, Gyrocopters is 2.7k. He is half of Lone Druid's net worth. It's just not comparable at all at this point. He's going to have to start catching up. Maybe we look to start seeing a lot of these neutral camps being stacked up. But at the same time, it's Darkseer who's saying, I need to kill these stacks. I want to get a mech for our team. Mech for DK is going to be essential here, and he's going to get some farm up. So they're just going to have to split the farm, or go for more cheaper, cost-effective items, which is where we see maybe a Drum of Endurance up on the Gyrocopter, mech from the Darkseer, and just whatever they can get. We're going to see a phase drums come out on the Kunkka as well, so it's not looking too good for Team DK.
Yeah, and actually, Korok is actually going for that early item build, picking up a Null and Treads. Should be going an Orchid with this.
Yeah.
And DK actually looks like they're going for an early item set build. Lots of drums, wands picked up. ROTK, 1,500 gold actually, doing quite well for himself. And Burning does pick up phase boots, does have a bracer, Ring of Bassi. He's doing a lot better than he previously was, which isn't hard to say. And TC, all right, let's look at this.
Mithril Hammer.
Yeah, he decides to go for a Mithril Hammer.
He's going
instead.
Maelstrom.
Yeah, he's going to go for the Maelstrom.
I'm okay with anything at this point. He's so far ahead. Anything he gets will be good. This is slightly more damage. Whoa. I don't know what the maths is here, but it's a different way to play this.
Oh, and they're actually going to go on mid.
Not going to land. Missed time.
Nice, Mike. Going to throw down the ult.
He's got Disruption. Needs
the
to
bird's
disrupt
hurt.
himself. They're going to kill off some of these birds here. Meanwhile, the Purge actually didn't really do a whole lot of damage there. Stupid one taking
Korok
damage.
goes in.
Bulba, hook shot, Cog, MMY caught, but the boat's there just at the right time. Blown to pieces is Bulba's clockwork. Korok going to zip around here. He needs to get out of there. Doesn't actually zip out in time. And 2 pickups for DK. They tie things up. 7 kills apiece. X. Fluff going to be brought down, it looks like, as is MMY by the Lone Druid. TC's TP'd in. He gets off the line, but Enchantress pays the price. Triple kill for QQQ. This is the power of Visage. Such a strong hero in these early game flashes.
Okay, I don't actually know why. That seemed like kind of a crazy idea for Liquid to engage there. Bulba had less than a half HP, and he just goes straight away in, and then Korok continues to engage after the fact with not enough mana into a team of 4. It just seemed a little overeager. I mean, I don't know what they're estimating, but they have the advantage. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they could tell their head, like, we can just take these risky fights, but fighting under tower into Torrent boat was just a terrible idea. And Lone Druid, I mean, Lone Druid's not even there. That's where their entire advantage is in the Lone Druid farm. So they're pretty much any other fight, they're just fighting on equal terms. They can't really consider themselves to have an advantage. Storm Spirit doesn't have items just yet. He's got his level. He's level 8, but his actual items aren't all that impressive. He zipped in and he's not doing a whole lot of damage. So Liquid need to be careful. Also Bulba, he doesn't have his no treads, nothing to help tank up. So they have to be careful with these fights. That was a very unnecessary risk.
Yeah, I think Liquid was...
Are they going to kill TC at mid lane?
Oh, yeah, actually, he's going to go completely
TC
down.
Oh, nice disruption from Ike's Mike. Buys him some time. Gyrocopter caught is there, though. There's your boat. DK with the Wombo combo. In the backline, though, is Korok. He's trying to bring down Super.
Is just not
He's
dying.
so low. The boat, the rum. The rum keeps him alive, and Korok wants to zip out. Oh, QQQ gets off one more Soul Assumption. Fluff is going to be brought down by the Remnants. What a fight for DK. QQQ with another double kill, this time with the help from his birds. Burning gets a last-second kill on Bulba as well. DK are trading favorably all of a sudden. These early game items we were talking about are just paying off, and paying off really well.
And also, I think the way that Liquid should be playing this isn't... the way they are playing it isn't correct. I think they have the early game team, so they're like, oh, well, we might as well just continue to try to force fights. But that's incorrect because your Lone Druid is out-farming everybody in the map. I mean, look at that net worth difference, despite dying just there. Yeah. It's still quite significant. So all they had to do was not even engage mid that one time, or this time either. They just had to represent pressure, and that would have meant that TC gets a free lane to himself. And they have to, I mean, to kill Lone Druid, you need to rotate at least 2 to 3 heroes to kill him. You can't do it solo. Yeah. So, I mean, if they do that, then you take the mid tower after that.
I think, and the other thing is Liquid have a decent early game lineup, but it's not early game teamfight lineup. You look at what DK have, it's so much more impressive. At this point, a level 10 Kunkka with Torrent Boat, Darkseer, Iron Shell, Vacuum, and Gyrocopter cooldown is much more impressive. Soul Assumption at this point, level 4 Soul Assumption is going to be the highest DPS burst damage on anyone. Korok, Storm Spirit's not the best early game, even with his current levels and items. Lone Druid not the best, and Enchantress is just so-so. So Liquid can't take these fights. They should just be continuing to farm. Get the items, get the later levels.
I completely agree, especially with the Coco's Rum. Yeah, boat effect.
Everyone's unkillable.
Yeah, it just does so much. that oh, it's called Kunkka's Rum now. I don't know why I keep calling it. It was called Kunkka's Rum in Dota 1, right? I actually don't think these are necessary fights for them to take.
Yeah.
But God, I mean, every time Korok goes on somebody, the boat is thrown, and then it's just impossible for him to go. That early burst damage from Storm is completely negated.
Kunkka seems like a great hero to have against Clockwork right now. You were seeing it here. Clockwork engages, like, with the Clockwork, Korok, whoever it is that goes in, you throw torrents, you throw boats, and you turn the fights around. Because Liquid are forced to engage. When Hookshot goes in, if he doesn't have something like a Force Staff to get out of there, Liquid are forced to engage, and the boat rum negates so much of that damage.
And actually, they're going to take a top tower for absolutely free. They don't lose their own mid of their own. That's actually a pretty good trade for Liquid. This is the kind of style they need to play.
This is what they should be looking for the last 3-4 minutes. Just trade farm as efficiently as possible, which they're going to be out farming their opponents, I feel, with Lone Druid. They've got Jungler and Enchantress. They've got a Storm Spirit. And then find these little tower trades. Well, not even a trade. They get a tier 1 top and nothing in return. Maybe we see this tier 1 mid getting denied.
Yeah, and they actually had like a 5,000 gold lead, but now it's kind of evened out to about 3K.
Yep.
Super. They're all going to head back mid. Drums finish
Korok's
on
actually
Burning.
looking for a pick off at He's looking for MMY. The only hero he's going to kill. Oh, this poor line. Hex is
If
there.
he wands, yeah,
Oh
this
my
is
God.
actually going to go kind of poorly for
Is there any
Korok.
TP
He's
in?
got the ult as well. So Korok actually can't do this. And this is actually... You don't actually have the burst damage to kill the line by yourself, especially if he has a wand, because all he has to do is get the Hex off and stun.
You can't, like, you can dodge impales and prevent him from getting impale up, but Hex is instant.
Yeah, and especially committing that close. I mean, Korok might have been able to kill him, but he would have been left with no mana in behind enemy lines.
Does have the, I guess he could have maybe TP'd out, but yeah, it was just, I guess there was nowhere for him to farm, so he's like, okay, let's just try find this little pick off here, but doesn't succeed in getting much from it. We are going to see the tier 1 mid tower get denied, and well, as far as early game miners, we're talking about for the Dire team, there's a Drum of Endurance up on the Gyrocopter. Mech is now finished on Darkseer. Visage actually goes for a completed medallion, so if they choose to target, they'll burst them down fast, and that includes Lone Druid. Lone Druid suddenly gets a lot more killable with this medallion pickup. Clockwork as well, whenever he hook shots in, that medallion's going directly on him and they'll try to kill him off.
Yeah, and Bulba's actually become like negative farmed.
Yeah, Bulba's like one of those, normally I see him on Clockwork and I think, man, he's so tanky and unkillable whenever he goes in. Like, he hook shots into 3 or 4 heroes and finds a way out, but this game's been the complete opposite. He's just been hookshotting to his death time and time again.
Yeah, actually, I think they should start rotating down for this bottom tower in case, but...
Liquid's still ahead though. They've still got this, I mean, gold. Looking at gold, XP, actually XP they're behind, but I'd still give them a slight lead based on just some of their heroes. You've got the Storm Spirit with a sort of lack of disable in the game apart from the line, and also Liquid just with much better map control right now.
Yes, and I actually don't like this decision to give up the bottom tower. It was actually almost full.
Yeah.
I think DK's mid tower only had about 200 HP. They could have actually started TPing people down preemptively and just letting the Lone Druid take it by himself, but opting to trade T1 for T1. And actually, Bulba gonna get gone on.
Bulba, X, Torrent. Do you think you can hide in the cogs? Well, the X will prevent that from happening. Another pick off, and Liquid, they just can't afford to have these. They lose a tier 1, they get a hero picked off, and DK are just getting time to go get these items. BKB going to be coming soonish on Burning. Super's got, he's 107. This guy's played a fantastic Kunkka here. Lack of farm, but very high impact.
Yes, and actually, IX might getting kind of close to a mech. He's only the headdress off. Yeah, he actually got the recipe. He's like, I've got money, I've got it saved, I am not risking this.
Yeah. Okay.
So he's going to pick up the recipe off the bat. So I imagine that Fluff was going to go for it originally, but he's actually just going to pick up the urn. Yep.
He's got a decent amount of HP now for an Enchantress with the magic wand on top of that, and then we're probably just looking towards an Aghanim Scepter.
Yeah, and Burning's actually shot up.
I like this from DK. They're going to look to try force a team fight at top.
Oh, they
know they've
should.
got they've got the better team fight. Enchantress, I mean, Lone Druid can come, but Storm Spirit Enchantress not going to offer a whole lot in a
They got to start rotating up now. And Korok actually is caught out without a TP. He's got 2.6k gold in farm, which is quite a bit. I mean, he's going to get a pretty decently timed Orchid, but this is another tower that was unnecessarily taken down.
TC was going for a bit of a counter push at mid lane, but he's actually backed off. He's too afraid of what's coming because he sees a tier 1 tower goes, he knows TPs can come in, and ROTK actually nearby could get a vacuum, but I think the follow-up is too far away. Yeah.
Yes, and IX Mike getting ever so close to that mechanism, and that's actually going to really help Liquid's team fight.
Especially when it's on the Shadow Demon of all heroes. I mean, you're normally looking towards your 4 position support or your solo mid getting something like a mech, but your 5 support with a mech around 22 minutes.
That's that IX Mike advantage, and TC actually has so much farm. He's got 1,000 gold with the affording the wand, the boots of speed, and look at his bearer. He's got an Orb of Venom, Phase Boots, Maelstrom, and the Armlet. He's doing quite well for himself. Hasn't really slowed down. Did die that one time mid, but still the farm leader by far. And Korok's actually shot up as well. I think he's actually just going to go for BKB. Yeah, I imagine that's why he was saving his money. He had 2.8k. He could have bought like 2 Oblivion staffs, so he's like, nope, I'm actually just going to farm.
I think if he was going the awkward, he needed, like, if he got free farm and had like a 17-minute awkward or something, great, but at this point, you need the BKB, because these fights, there's just all this lockdown and
with the
magic damage.
And like, if you get hexed at all for even a second, the way that you play against Storm is you just drop the hammer on him.
Yeah.
High AC.
Every spell. Oh. My favorite AC one is still the, was it the bagel and the breadcrumb or something? I don't know.
I don't watch them casts. I just saw that post. So, medallions, I mean, as you mentioned, it's going to be on QQQ. MMY
There's a gem on QQQ as well now. So
oh god,
they're saying
we just talked about that, about how that early gem when you have that advantage.
Liquid, I mean, there's so many aggressive wards around the dire side where they're trying to find pickoffs. You got like a clockwork storm spirit. This is all about pickoffs, and now all this vision is going to get dewarded.
Yeah, and they actually haven't dewarded a single one yet.
No, they dewarded one.
Oh, did they get one?
It was right like up here near this tower.
Oh, I want the one over here. I want this one dead so badly. He almost walked up the hill, and then he just kind of went back down.
Okay.
Do this for me, QQQ.
For the time being, it seems okay. Burning, no BKB just yet. 600-ish away.
My will be done. Okay, he's gonna go for it.
Yeah.
This is the most exciting D ward.
Holy smoke. Was that too close? No, that wasn't too close to the ward.
No, they didn't see it. He was behind the tree. Oh, and he goes away from it. How anticlimactic.
Well, they're running directly towards Korok here. If Lion's in the front lines, they could get a Hex off first. Maybe
Korok playing this smart, though.
X into a Hex could work. Oh, Rocket going to go right over their heads. He probably thinks they're safe.
Korok's actually just going to farm this out. He's going to get X'd. Here comes
Perfectly
Korok gets
timed.
hit.
X. Yep, there we go. Korok dead. Well executed gank by DK. They'll probably look to push this tier 2 because Liquid aren't counter pushing anywhere. They're not in position to do any pressure anywhere. And with Storm Spirit dead, he can buy back, but I don't think he wants to use that. He's so close to a BKB right now. So this looks like a tier 2 tower on top of that pickoff for DK.
Yeah, and Burning's actually going to have a BKB completed after this as well, gods. And I don't actually know how they can defend this without Korok. If you are going to defend this, you have to get there a little sooner. Bulba's going to actually pick up a Ogre Club of his own.
I think he's just spamming some rockets here. I don't think he's actually looking to engage. And they do not want to buy back on Storm Spirit here.
And a Basher's actually completed on Lone Druid. Decision I really like by TC.
I'm surprised by this lift. They're not really looking to defend this. And they're not counter pushing. What are they buying time for? It's not like they're counter pushing other lanes. I mean, they are at bottom, but there's no tier 2 tower or anything. There's no tower trades going. So DK get a tier 2 tower, and with this, getting closer to even as far as gold goes. We're going to see a bit of a drop down to a 1k gold lead for Liquid, but if anything, I feel slight edge to DK, or maybe we're looking at around 50-50 at this point in the game.
Yes, and Burning actually finishes his BKB.
Kunkka Shadowblade.
Shadowblade.
Boy's got the money for it.
Yeah, they've actually picked up a lot of their key items here. Yeah. ROTK is going to get actually a Ghost Scepter. A decision I kind of agree with, actually. It's going to make him pretty great against the bear. You don't actually punch a whole lot with Darkseer, so it's not that big of a deal. And
I love that thudding noise, though, when he does punch.
Yeah.
It's very soothing. But
it actually negates, you can negate the Ghost Scepter's negative effect by just kind of surging out. Slow. I mean, you can take a ton of magical damage, but I mean, how much can
damage as well? Well, the magic damage still works, but
yeah. So
it's a nice little pickup.
Pretty decent farm on DK, actually. I think they're actually just going to go around the map, try to force fights at T2 towers, and I don't know how much Liquid wants to engage this.
If they win a fight or manage to push out lanes well, they'll go for a Roshan as well, being on that dire side.
Yeah. BKB complete actually on Korok.
Oh, they're going to go for Roshan now. Who cares about getting a pick off or pushing out lanes? Straight to Roshan pit. I think they're so confident that they'll win a team fight, they'll just go right in.
What big AoE do they have to worry about?
I think the main thing they have to worry about is the Bulba's initiation. Who are they actually going to look to initiate on, though? I think it's QQQ they have to kill first.
Yeah, definitely.
Hook onto him and
damage,
try
but he's so tanky as well, and he's actually going to get hooked in.
Can Storm Spirit all this up? There's a cooldown, there's a wall, there's absolutely a huge AoE from DK. They don't actually, they don't hit anyone, but they force Liquid back. This is good for Liquid. They force out every ultimate except Lions. That's actually a really good engagement.
Those are some pretty crazy panic abilities, and
that was it's like you said, panic.
Burning was actually caught on top of here. I don't actually know how, but he gets taken down.
Cogs maybe?
Oh yeah,
Cogs is the one spell that could have pushed him up.
It didn't actually look like it would be close enough, but BKB also popped on Burning.
Liquid. Well, we go from one team in the Roshan pit to the other, and now it's like, we dare you to come on in. Without a wall, without a Kunkka. Kunkka Boat's really short cooldown now. That's the one little buff he did get.
And actually
10
TC
seconds.
just going to wait in here. And this is perfect. They actually just bait out TC. He's got
They'll
an extra
have
bear.
They will
Boat's
have
actually
both.
going to come back. Wow, look that cooldown.
I don't know if Liquid have sentries or dust. They're not going to be able to see the Shadow Bleeding Kunkka.
He's actually going to...
Oh, this fight is going to... Well, winner of this fight gets Rotan. Maybe Liquid can get Rotan before the fight begins. It looks like TC just going to focus down Road. Here we go. Cooldown's back up as well. All these short cooldown ultimates working in DK's favor. Can they bring down Bulba? He's taking a lot of damage. Korok zips in from the high ground. Boat being used now. Finally gets dropped. That's going to make all of DK a lot more tanky. And they're using that oh so well. Korok trying to get burning just with the last auto attack. But he used all of his mana to do so. Luckily, he has the Aegis. He's going to be coming back to life. Can they kill him a second time? Hex 3, 2, 1. No mana anyways. Korok torrented. Perfectly timed torrent. That's insane timing from Super's Kunkka. This guy has been the backbone of this DK team. I thought he was just going to zip out of there, but Super timed that to the millisecond.
Yeah, and actually that boat kept burning alive for so long. Korok had to use all of his mana, took all the time in the fight to try to kill him, and I don't actually think that was worth it. Liquid does pick up the Aegis, and the Roshan, but I mean, they lost the fight.
Super's playing out of his mind. I mean, we've seen Yao and Zhao 8 play the Kunk for LGD, but this guy's showing something just as impressive, if not more impressive. He's 1-0-11, but his boats, the torrent timings, the positionings have just been
The
immaculate.
positioning for DK supports, I mean, their rotation has been a little iffy the past few games, but their positioning in team fights has been, this game especially, has been stunning. I mean, the amount of stuns and hexes MMY got off in that fight was insane, and QQQ just throwing out spell after spell after spell. I mean, he got a triple kill the first fight, and now he just picks up an ultra kill for himself.
And that was with Stormspirit having a BKB. You feel like these supports like Lion, Visage should just go down right off the bat. Stormspirit's going to be looking for Lion almost every single fight with this BKB. Lion has a 4-star now. That's going to help him out a ton, and yikes, I have not seen this until now. There's a big old ancient stack with Gyrocopter's name all over it.
And Super's actually going to get this real low for Burning. Burning with the next Flat Cannon should be able to take most of this.
Super will just take some as well, even.
Alright, Super's greedy.
He's not attacking. No, he's not attacking.
That's not a good teammate. That's not cool.
No, he'll hit now. All the low ones. Okay, he takes one. He waited till all the low ones died, and then he helped out to kill these big ones.
Or he's greedy. Just do it. Hit it. Okay, Burning's actually going to get the rest of this, and that's going to prop him up to about 2k gold. He's got quite a lot of money after that last fight, and Liquid, I mean, things are looking a little scary for them. Super picks up an Ogre Club of his own with 1k gold on top of that. I mean, MMY, Lion's got a 4-staff on his own, and that's going to make him really difficult to kill, David. That means Storm is going to have to expend extra energy going from.
You have the BKB, and you're like, okay, we can just fly in without fear, but it's most of your mana being used. And we saw that last fight, how crucial that is. He chased so far after Burning, and then once he has no mana, he's dead after BKB wears off. He doesn't have mana regen at all. He's going to be probably looking for an Orchid still. I'd be surprised. I guess, Orchid, maybe even straight side the Vice here.
Does Liquid actually have a ward on the map? I don't actually
Everything's
think they do.
been dewarded, I'm pretty sure.
That early gem pickup, we had talked about it previously, but it just creates so much room. People don't know where you are, and it's a great investment, especially since there are no invis heroes on Liquid anyways. So if you lose the gem, at worst, you get counter warded yourself. But at the best case scenario, you get this, where DK gets free movement around the map.
They can just go around without fear. Only thing they have to be worried about is Liquid sort of, I guess, catching him by surprise with a bit of a smoke game. But right now, Liquid, they don't have the best smoke ganking lineup. They don't. The initiation is just the clockwork. Stormspirit to some extent, but he is building an Orchid, so not going for the side of the Vice. Picks up his first Oblivion staff.
The issue is, if he doesn't finish his Orchid soon, I mean, Super's going to pick up a BKB before that Orchid gets finished. Burning already has his BKB.
I don't know if he's going to be silencing Kunkka, though. I feel like he's more likely to be looking for Lion, even Darkseer here.
The issue, though, I mean, Darkseer has a Ghost Scepter, and I mean, the boat is going to keep everyone alive for so long. Korok not doing enough damage anymore, and I feel like you almost have to kill Super first. But how do you do it? Especially once he gets a BKB. ROTK's got that mech. They have a 4-staff as well in case he gets out of position. And there's just a lot of different ways they can create space for him.
Everything is starting to go downhill for Liquid. We can see the gold graph at 1 point, almost a 5k gold lead. DK now with an edge. Going to take a tier 2 tower as well, uncontested as well. And Liquid aren't really finding trades. They're actually... Someone smoked up. Shadow Demon smoked up. This is with a Shadow Demon who had like a 22, 23 minute mech. You'd think if your support Shadow Demon's getting that, you're in a really good position, you're winning the game, but it's not the case here with Liquid.
Yes. What Liquid needs to do now is try to get some sort of pick off and not let DK just group up as 5 and push like that. Because if that happens, they're going to lose every fight from here on
Storm zips in, forces a BKB out from Burning. There's actually quite a number of Liquid heroes coming around from the side. I think DK are fine with just making safe choices like that. Use a BKB charge on Burning, not the end of the world for them, but it's still something forced out by Liquid.
Yes, and Liquid actually, though, they still have a great chance of winning this. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
we talk as if a little bit fatalistic, but that Lone Druid, look at that farm. He's got a Maelstrom, a Basher, an Armlet. He's got 2.5k gold on top of a Cloak, which I really like, by the way. I feel like most Lone Druids should pick up one. And he's going to pick up another item here in a second. I'd
Hyperstone?
imagine
Yeah.
it's a Hyperstone, yes, and that should be for the Assault Cuirass. And once he picks that up, that pair can't be ignored. The issue right now is that DK just has the better team fight, the better crowd control. So what Liquid needs to do is try to pick off the supports early. I really feel like going for... I mean, if you can't burst the Kunkka down early, then just ignore and try to get the supports out of the way and then kind of play kite.
Yeah.
Tag your it.
Definitely agree. And Burning, and that'll work fine until Burning gets up some big items. He's actually going for a Butterfly here, which isn't going to be a huge amount of DPS. It'll make him hit a bit harder and faster, as well as have the evasion. But I feel like this is still okay for Liquid. It's like you say, bring down the supports. Just don't worry too much about the Kunkka. And
they actually don't know about the smoke at all because of no wards on the map.
Yeah.
And TC's running.
He
just gets
there.
out.
He can actually scout them out with a bear, maybe. So vacuum being used, not finding anyone.
And Burning actually just going to lead this charge on this T2, and I don't actually think they're too afraid for him.
No, I think with the boat to back him up, as well as having a 4-staff online as well to push him out of bad situations, they should be fine.
Yes, and ROTK picking up an ultimate orb to go along with it, so...
They're going to make a little ploy here with the Enchantress Illusions and Shadow Demon. I like this. Try and bait out anything.
Yeah, I think
Smart
he was trying to
little bit
bait
of
the
play.
X out, but
Yeah.
Super being a little smarter than that, being patient. He's actually going to get the BKB, too, if they pick up this tower.
Yeah. And if they can get that, then look to sort of force a fight. Make something happen. And Liquid,
Quark actually close to his orb here. No,
like
he's not.
1k gold about.
Yes.
He's just gonna go top. He doesn't want to show himself because then DK know they can look to commit mid, but he wants to just farm. He's gonna show himself now.
How does Liquid actually contest this at this point? Doing the smart decision, not getting into an unnecessary fight. I mean, I've seen Liquid come back from even worse, and the way they do it right now is just try to get DK to get overconfident, overcommit, and Korok meanwhile, because he has a BKB, he can take some risks out on the map as long as he doesn't get hexed to lead the fight. He can actually farm a little bit unsafe and take some risks. And TC, I mean, he still does have a lot of farm.
The other way they do it is the old complexity smoke gang, because they're going to need some wave getting out of their own base unspotted. There's so many aggressive, well-placed DK wards that getting out on the map and finding pickoffs is going to be so hard apart from some sort of a big smoke gang.
Yeah, look at that cross they've made. I mean, they have a ward even here.
Yeah.
They have one out of every single entrance. So if they see a smoke gang coming, they see it so preemptive early.
Yeah, this entire bottom row. They're not worried about the top lane at all. Sure, the only thing that's going to happen there is maybe some split pushing, but they don't really need vision for that so much. And, well, here we go. Liquid, they're smoke gang.
I'm pretty sure DK knows about this, and they're actually starting to group up as 5 now.
MMY as well as ROTK are sort of
Oh,
more
Boba.
isolated. He's got to find someone. He's got to get. He's got a 4-staff though. He's not. He cancels his hook. That's a smart decision. You hook in, you cog, he forces out, and it's wasted. Agasnim Scepter on QQQ Visage. I saw 3 birds and I'm thinking, what?
Yeah, and actually
That's
that
a
is
lot of
the
farm.
craziest farm. I mean, we always see them go for it, Visage players, but
Yeah.
they don't actually ever get anything. They actually just get the point booster and they're like, well,
It's-
we're actually kind of
Liquid
working
don't
our way
have.
around
There's
it.
no like gyrocopter to easily kill and bring down the birds. And
Those
not to
birds are
mention-
actually just going to be able to pick off fluff.
The stun is ridiculous as well in team fights. If you can, I mean, just use it on a. I mean, you mentioned that they can't ignore the spirit bear. You can just chain stun him with these familiars if you really want. Then you can resummon them during the fight, and you have 3 more stuns at your disposal. This is essentially like a 10 seconds of stun duration if you want.
Yes, fantastic point you bring up there. And actually, Liquid, that was a little bit scary after that smoking failed. I mean, I would have hightailed it out of there, and they do. They managed to just kind of split up. The good thing is that it looked like DK was a little bit weary about taking the fight. It seemed a little uncertain for them, and that's going to open up the jungle for Liquid again.
Well, they are going to be up against the Butterfly Gyrocopter now. I definitely agree that Liquid having their own jungle server, they need to de-ward themselves. It's risk. I mean, I feel like they have got a gem. I was
Yeah,
about to
they've
say
got a
they
gem
need
for
to
themselves.
Yeah, they need to just de-ward, get map control, and then maybe even just put the gem on the courier for a while so you don't lose it in the next team fight. But you need to just take some control over the map yourselves.
So Korok's actually going to pick up an Orchid of his own now.
Okay.
And I think the next fight, yeah, it should be around Roshan. And whether or not Liquid decides to contest this, it's going to be the big thing here. And I don't actually know if they have enough AoE to.
It's going to be difficult to do this. Have they got an Assault Crest on the
They should be really close,
no.
actually.
He's switched back to the MKB.
Oh, okay. He's just picking up the Hyperstone for the right click. I actually really like this decision because your bear isn't having any issues with tankability or anything like that. The Hyperstone alone gives you enough attack speed, and you should be able to take down the Gyrocopter being played by Burning quite quickly. He's actually finished his butterfly, and they're actually just going to farm the stack and getting in position to Roshan.
They don't
up any second now.
Yeah, I think on the topic of contesting Roshan, with buyback not there for Burning, having bought his butterfly, maybe this is the time where Liquid look to strike.
Yes, and this is actually as good as it's about to get for Liquid.
They don't see this coming.
Oh man, DK thinking they're going to be waiting on top of that hill. This is so smart by DK. They know they have the team fight advantage. They're going to fake the Roshan.
Well, Enchantress Creep does scout out, they're not in Roche.
Yeah, so I think that Liquid correctly identifies that they know this is coming. And DK actually forcing up to the jungle. They might actually run into a fight here.
They could have almost. They should see this Iron Shell damage on this creep mid. If Liquid, if Liquid are watching that, and DK do reveal themselves in the mid lane now. Liquid, I don't think they want to engage.
Yeah, and with the direction of the rocket, I think DK knows that Liquid is right on top of them.
Yeah.
So they're actually just going to disengage now.
Okay. Things are really tense here. Those of you just tuning in who want to know where we're at, this match to decide the last team to go to the G1 League LAN Finals playoff stage tomorrow. 3 of the teams are decided: LGD, Alliance, as well as Orange Esports. This is to decide the final team to go to the playoffs. Loser of this is knocked out. Winner advances. Everything at stake here. Liquid have come all the way from the US.
Yep. And DK coming all the way, making that long trek out of Australia. We're going to kill that joke. So DK,
oh man,
just continuing to farm. ROTK getting really close to that sheep. And once he's got that, that's going to make their team fight. That's going to add another disable to a team that's already heavily stacked with disables.
Yeah.
I actually really like this lineup by DK and the item choices they've decided to make. Just heavy disabled, trying to back up Burning, not letting anybody go on him for free.
I mean, it's definitely like you say, having an extra side device. Once these BKBs were off, or even if you can hex Korok before he gets off the BKB, it's a pick-off. They've got the burst damage. Line is such a great hero to have, and it's not just a side device. You've got a hex on Line as well as additional instant lockdown. And imagine if Line gets something like a blink where you can blink on Korok, catch him by surprise. It's fantastic. DK though, they're still playing very tentative. It's really so tense right now in this game.
Yes, you can feel the tension building. We'll just keep using that word, but I mean, Korok, I think he's been farming during this entire time. He's got 1,700 gold to go with it. I imagine he'll get a hex. Yeah, he's gonna sell a whole lot of stuff. He's got 2,100 gold. I like that decision.
What did he just sell?
He sold his bottle and a TP, I believe.
Okay.
So nothing too. Actually, maybe a null talisman.
Do you think it's hex or Lincoln's?
It has to be a hex. I can't imagine. I mean, the instant initiation, if he's able to catch Burning or Super before they get their BKBs off, that would be huge.
Okay.
But the Roshan is being taken. It doesn't look like they can contest. I mean, TC was up there farming top. They're not going to get there in time.
Scout it out just for the sake of it here with the...
Korok, big plays, and he picks up the Aegis.
He killed Roshan as well. Gold, Aegis, everything.
That is... Okay, here's the thing. Liquid is so far behind. Let's be real here. We were just keeping it 10-3, guys. Korok has to make a play like that. Phenomenal. I am in disbelief that he went for it.
Gold graph, it shows 4K, but what the fuck was that, Korok?
That timing. Oh my gosh, that was so ballsy, and he actually gets it off. Not just gets the kill. That actually just was a waste of time for DK.
Yes.
The last 3 minutes have been trying to set up around that Rosh, and he's like, well, have fun.
Okay.
And he picks it off.
We got ourselves a game now. They were behind by 4K gold, but it felt like a lot more than that.
That play stealing ability. Oh, that's why Korok. He's such an explosive player. When you talk about players that can actually make plays like that, you know, Korok is at the top of the ladder.
Yeah.
Especially for a hero like Storm. That game sense, that timing, that confidence. He realizes, yes, there's a good chance I'll die without a buyback, but I have to make something happen for my team.
If you're DK, that's like your whole game plan was like, okay, we have this Roshan, should be uncontested, then we can look to push, we can just siege the enemy base, and now it's like, whoa, what just happened?
Yeah, and Aegis kind of really throws that off.
Like, you don't want to push into it. I think DK, this game is going to be going the distance now, because DK are going to be thinking, holy crap, that's not good, we need to sit back, at least until the next Roshan.
Yeah. Korok's going to be able to actually outlast that Rum now with that Aegis, and he's going to be able to do so much with that now.
Alright, Clock gets a BKB as well, so Liquid find themselves
this is
pretty
looking
big item.
On the up and up, and TC actually, you know, I really like Liquid's decision to just spend their money. They realize they're behind. Buybacks aren't going to help them in the long run, so might as well just buy out and let's get that one clutch fight going.
The Spirit Bear is the carry hero for Liquid though, and we're going to see Vlad's picked up by IX Mike sometime soon. This is a pretty farm Shadow Demon.
Yeah, I mean, he's tugging along with items. I mean, Fluff actually picked up the gem, so he's a little poor on the poor end, but Korok finally getting some farm. He's actually able to play really aggressively up there. And DK rotating top. 3.7k on burning, though. 4k actually now on burning.
That's the one hero we haven't seen big damage coming out of. He's just gone for BKB Butterfly Drums. This is all about survivability. The Butterfly isn't really good DPS time. He's going to, I imagine, go MKB. I don't see any reason to go for something like a Divine Rapier at this point.
Yeah, they're not far behind like that. I just watched ROTK kind of fail at killing that that Hellbear Smasher. He actually missed the vacuum and then kind of backed out, but he does have his Hex completed. The Scythe of Vice completed on ROTK. A big pickup for him. Super 2.5k. I imagine he'll go some sort of damage item now. A Crystallis would be pretty good here, as would a Demon Edge.
If we get an Assault Cuirass on this Lone Druid, he's essentially maxed out. You can get additional items. You have got, of course, the 12 item slot carry with items possible on your Lone Druid bear. Oh, your Lone Druid hero, but it's this is going to be tricky for DK. They have to be so careful from here on out, even with all the great late game and team fight they have.
Yes, and actually burning, saving quite a bit of money. I wonder what he's actually going to go for. He's got 4.8k gold in the bank, hasn't spent anything. He's level 19. I mean, at some point, I feel like with the next item that DK gets, they might decide to force a fight.
Once Storm doesn't have Aegis, there's just no reason to take a risk and fight into Aegis, I feel.
Yeah.
You either wait for Aegis to expire, or you even wait for the next Roshan, because you can maybe make sure, well, hopefully that doesn't happen again, but...
Maybe throw down a Torrent beforehand, right before Rosh is about to die. I mean, I'm sure DK in their mind...
Preemptively, impale the ground.
I'm sure DK in their mind were like, there's no way. And Korok rolled, like, half the distance from mid over, and then still managed to get out.
I don't think did he actually have vision? I know they were sending the Enchantress.
I think the rocket was sent in, and then he was just like, this is about... But still, the timing on that, because he could only be there for the last hit. If he's there for any longer, then they chase him down and kill him, but Korok, Dota, and I actually think Liquid, they're using this Aegis not to fight, but rather create space and time, and say, okay, well, we might be able to fight you, but we're actually just going to get the safe amount of farm.
They'll farm. It's like you say, they won't save for buybacks as well. They're just buying these items. Some of their heroes with buyback like TC, but he's going to start getting to work on that Assault Cuirass. And I imagine once he has gold, he buys it.
Yeah, Korok, Panic actually on burning. I'm not a big fan of this item.
He just get some damage is I just feel the best way to go from here.
I actually don't think that Butterfly was 100% necessary, especially with that quick MKB response by that the Syllabear, or the Lone Druid, so... I mean, burning going...
Seems like a waste of
He's got essentially three defensive items, and not a whole lot of right-click. I mean, he does about 200 damage, but that's not too much considering.
The defensive ability of the Butterfly right now is not looking all that impressive when you have the MKB. That's the majority. There's no other physical damage coming from maybe Storm Spirit to a small extent, some Impetuses, but Enchantress is just going to die in fight, so... Yeah,
TC's almost finished his Assault as well, picks up the Chainmail just about there. I don't know if he'll actually save for buyback, considering his entire team is just buying out.
It's like maybe you can have a resummon on your bear after you die, but I feel like if you're buying back, you've probably already lost the fight.
Yes, and
your teammates are going to die.
Close to expiring.
I think they're not going to look to fight, even though they've got the Aegis.
Definitely not.
It shows how far behind they are. We'll take a look at the gold graph, and it's 3k gold behind, but this is not the story at all. This is... If this was 3k gold behind, Liquid are looking to fight with this Aegis, but really they're so much further behind than that. They still have a solid chance, though.
No, I actually think, I might actually disagree with you now. I think the game is actually pretty much evened out.
Okay.
Korok's almost got a Hex. He's about 800 gold away from that. I mean, DK spent so much time around that Rosh fight where they were kind of just going around, in a giant circle and not doing a whole lot, that they actually kind of fell a little further behind than they should have. I mean, they're two core heroes, the Storm and the Lone Druid.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got so much farm on them now.
And DK, while they have some gold advantage, it's in, like we've been talking about, inefficient items like Gyrocopter. Defensive items, not items that are winning them the game.
Yes. And Super actually... This is like that dual Dota thing I saw where they're saving a ton of money. I mean, what could you need with 4.6k gold, Super?
I think the thing is he's going to go for he wants buyback.
Yeah.
And if you think buyback, it's really only 2.5k gold. You can't buy a late game item with 2.5k gold. Maybe a Crystallis if you're going for the
It's
crit.
2.5. I mean, it's 1.2 plus... Gosh, I don't actually think it's 2.5k gold.
It's like... Okay, but maybe
he could actually...
3K
I think
gold.
he could afford a Crystallis, especially if he sells something like the Magic Wand or the Bracer at this point. So I just feel like it's an unnecessary save. And
love to see what he goes for. I definitely think crit is a nice way to play this. Maybe even looks for some additional lockdown or survivability, something like a Heart of Taras.
I mean,
He's at the shop now.
Burning's completely buying out.
No, he sells a Bracer
for the most part.
Reaver. Relic?
Just some more.
Even getting an Abyssal Blade. That goes through BKB.
Yeah, that would actually be quite decent on him. And 5k actually now on super.
Yeah, he just sold a brace. I think he's waiting for the courier to go back to base. Maybe he picks up a
Yeah,
Crystal.
that would actually,
that would make sense as to why he hasn't bought anything.
Yeah, but he's
right
got
now.
3k gold on top of that as well, but still picks up the crit like we assumed. Okay, Liquid actually going to be a top. Bulba, Black King Bar, and an Ogre Club. 1800 HP on him. Quite tanky indeed. Korok's going to pick up the Hex just with this creep wave now too.
Have we like seen a kill in like 15 minutes?
No, the game is actually completely
I'm not
slowed
complaining.
down.
I feel like there's been so much going on.
I
but
mean, I think both teams, because this is their tournament life on the line, they're both really tentative about taking a fight, because the next fight taken will most likely decide the course of the game.
There was a tower kill 10 minutes ago. There was another tower kill about 15 minutes ago. Last kill was about 20 minutes ago.
Oh my gosh.
This is probably, I don't know the stats for this, but longest you go without a kill, this is up there.
Yes, and actually, what that actually led to was that the Aegis going in, DK was trying to force the fight by towers. They're like, okay, we'll just take all your towers. Liquid didn't want to fight, so close to their base after they lost the T2 tower. And then on top of that, DK was like, okay, we'll play a little bit defensively, and we'll wait for this next Roshan. And they waited and waited and waited, and then Korok obviously spoiled their plans. But Liquid thought they were further behind, and they were like, okay, we'll just use this Aegis to kind of, the threat of a fight will be enough for DK not to want to take a fight, and we'll use this time to catch him and farm. And boy, they've gotten a lot of utility out of the Aegis.
Well, I imagine we see kills around the next Roshan, which is where DK looks to sort of wait for. But 20 minutes without a kill, that is something. It makes my job easy because I normally have
AC
to worry about
actually
missing
finished
kills.
on TC.
Cool.
He's gonna
And
put it on his bear, and he's got 2k
buyback
gold
if he
too.
wants, so.
Yeah, that's actually quite a bit of money on top of him as well. And Fluff
Ghost
picking up that Ghost Scepter. Vlad's completed on Mike. This is actually a really decent position for Liquid to be on. They've got all their utility items.
Side of Ice, everything's there. This is them at their caught up. This is them, like you say. You thought they were even, and I definitely agree. Having seen all these items, they've just picked up.
Yeah, and I mean,
if they don't contest, if DK get Roshan, I still give them a slot. That's where going late game, I feel DK have the edges because they're on the dire side. They can keep getting Roshan. If they get this Roshan, I still give them a slight advantage moving forward.
And ROTK's farm has actually slowed down quite a bit, as is Super's. I mean, the playstyle difference is that Liquid is throwing everything out into this game, and DK is actually kind of playing tentatively, saving gold here and there, just in case of a fight and a buyback. And whereas Liquid is just saying, okay, well, we'll just go for this one big fight.
Something big looking late game that we're going to start seeing now, but based on correct positioning, is he's just going to be looking for solo pickoffs. And he couldn't do that until he had the Side of the Vice, because otherwise there's Ghost Scepters, there's BKBs, but Side of the Vice allow him to maybe go for some solo pickoffs on Lion, on Visage. I don't think he has enough damage to kill many of these other heroes. Maybe not even Visage, but
no,
Lion,
I don't think he does to kill Visage, especially with the 14 charge wand.
Okay. You don't, or you do?
I don't think so.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
with the
I think it's
Gravekeeper's
only
Cloak,
Lion who he can actually get pickoffs on, and Lion's probably always with the team, but...
that's just really good positioning by MMY,
Yeah.
and they're actually just going to start pressuring again for this next Roshan.
Yep, Roshan's up.
I think Burning
Liquid
will be
nearby.
so upset if they lose this one again.
Yeah. Oh, he's going to go in. DK decided we're just going to structure a team fight around this super, just cleaves down the mid creep wave. And
Yeah, and actually, this game feasibly could have been over, David.
Yeah,
With that lost Roshan, but this is Liquid's
score.
moment. They're actually going to go
trying to
kind of
vision.
scouting out with the bear
That
and the tornado.
Good vision. That homing missile can go down. Disruption on Jar. I think it's just a sort of teasing disruption. Not going to see an actual engagement. Ball is in Liquid's court. DK just going to keep going in, send Burning into the Roshan pit, poke around and force Liquid
Oh,
to
and
engage.
IX Mike just kind of
Caught in no man's land.
running in. And he's going to get picked off there.
Was not expected.
I don't think he should have done that, and they're actually going to lose quite a bit there because he is their mech and their Vlads.
Yeah, Vlad's is big here. I didn't actually see how he walked into that fight. But
Yeah,
that was really
I mean,
weird.
because he got X like right next to him, and Korok's actually going to
Korok's
go in.
playing.
Has to pop the BKB, but he's actually just going to get blown up.
Wow, he died instantly. Now they're going to move on to Bulba. Bulba's in BKB form, but he can't TP out. He's going to get chased down, and this is not looking good for Liquid. Bulba hex up, brought down.
And that's going to be the Roche as well.
I guess they don't want to go mid. They probably expect Liquid to have buyback, so they're like, okay, we want to take Roshan now to make sure we get it. Because if they push mid and say, hey, look, there's 2 heroes dead, and then they buyback, it's like, oh crap, we got to go Roche. Oh wait, we can't get Roche.
And
They're
that
back
was
alive.
about as disastrous of a fight for Liquid as it could have gone. I mean, Korok didn't get a single item up. He didn't get the Orchid, the BKB, or the Hex. I mean, Mike starting that fight off by dying.
That was just slight lack of experience. And Liquids, they've improved their late game play a lot, but I remember talking to Fluff and how he thinks our matchup against Chinese teams. He always says, their late game play is so good, whereas Liquid, they often make it's their late game decision making, which just isn't quite up to par with the
That's going to
Chinese
be
team.
a cheese and 5.6k gold on Burning, not to be understated at all. Super has the Aegis now and the Daedalus complete and 3k gold to go on top of that. Perseverance finish on ROTK, might be even going for a refresher or a Lincoln's.
No Storm for 20 seconds. This looks like mid-Raktas, which at 50 minutes you can still play back from. Liquid still have a chance, but it's going to get a lot harder from here on out with these Raktas down at mid.
Yeah, and they might have, DK actually might even opt to go for top or bottom. Get another set of racks if they think they can take this fight. I mean, they have been playing really safe this game though. They don't want to overextend, and this
Even
is
with
the smart
Aegis
decision
Gs.
here. Yeah. And MMY, did he
Just
just
pinging
pick
top
something up? I think he. Do you have the Ghost Scepter beforehand?
No, he just got the Ghost Scepter
He
now.
just got the Ghost Scepter right now. QQQ with 2.7k. I mean, I always read the gold values off, and it's stunning because I mean they just lost the fight, and then there's added gold on top of that with taking the racks on the tower.
Something we haven't looked at is some of these scores on these heroes. Super still hasn't died. QQQ Visage has been in 19 of these 20 kills, although with that said, they haven't been kills in some time. And, well, ROTK, 1 death to his name. These DKs have just not been getting caught out at all. And this is, again, Storm Spirit and Clockwork. They're not giving up any kills whatsoever.
Yeah, they've played this game so intelligently. The supports as well have done a really good job of minimizing the deaths. I mean, MMY, against a lineup like that, he should be the first one down every time, but only at 2 deaths
all
at
these
50
kills,
minutes in.
All the kills Liquid have were from the laning stage. Like, all these deaths on Burning, like, he died 3 times in the first 10 minutes. Liquid just have not found any mid-game pickoffs.
Yep. And
Daedalus.
gonna roll around, and
Gyrocopter gets the big crit. There's your damage item.
He's got 2.5k gold still.
Yeah, he makes sure he gets buyback on. It's that buyback. Gotta have it.
Gotta have the buyback. I mean, that's the big difference right now in the playstyles, right? They're always saving a little bit, leaving a little bit behind just in case one fight goes disastrously. And I wonder what QQQ is gonna go for next. Actually, he's got 2.9k gold. I mean,
Buyback. Let's get that buyback tab up.
He could actually get a.
Everyone with Darkseid no by 500 gold, but everyone else on the Dire side that's a key hero has it. Lion doesn't, but Gyro, Kunkka, Visage. Cogs just being dropped on Naga. Actually a bit too early there by Bulba. The Cogs are going to expire before anyone comes nearby. No creep wave, nothing. So we will see this tower get worked away. Burning does have the cheese. Aegis is there as well on Kunkka. And this tier 3 tower brought down. Liquid have to go in. They've got to go soon. They're going to drop a disruption. Can they actually follow this up with anything? Bulba looking for a hook. Maybe Korok as well needs to find a tag to go in. And QQQ. They don't really want to go on Visage. They want to try and find someone like Burning. Bring Burning down. Lock him down. Kill him off before he can pop that cheese. Even though he has buyback, he can't TP back in the fight. So if you kill him, you bought yourself some time. So maybe Gyrocopter's the target, but he's always going to have that line sitting behind him waiting for a disable.
Yes, and Burning still has the cheese. The Satanic was popped. I think they're actually just going to wait that out. And I think actually the rush fight, Ix Mike might have been forced that forward. So I don't think it was him just...
I actually checked that. I clicked the line and Force Staff was not on cooldown. I was actually like, that was my only thing I could be thinking
really?
of. Unless it was a visual bug. It could have been a visual bug, but I clicked the line
I'm going to
afterwards.
give Mike the benefit of the doubt. But anyways, ROTK picking up that Oblivion Staff, so it is a refresher. They have the premium items on top of premium items, David.
Well, we're in a bit of a pause here, and this is about as good as it gets. This is our last game of the day for day 2, and winner of this goes through the playoffs. Loser of it, knocked out. It's been an awesome day 2. You've had tons of games to cast.
I've been up and taken like 1 hour break. I've been doing stuff for like the past like 18 hours. I'm like really hopped up, but this is a great game to end it on, especially watching my friends being able to play and potentially move on. And it looks like, wait, DK saying I don't know what OB stands for.
I think the Chinese referee disconnected from the Chinese observer disconnected from the game.
So that's what we're going to wait for.
The G1
you wouldn't want to miss anything.
Chinese characters. The entire, well, I guess the live audience can still see, but everyone on the Chinese stream may not be.
Pika G. Okay, I'm not even going to try to interpret what that means, but we've got
Pika's the Chinese G1, like the boss, the G1 boss. He's the guy in charge of everything. He's the guy you thank for having Western teams at the G1 League LAN Finals. Something which we should, I mean, a quick shout out to G1 League who actually brought in Western teams to their LAN Finals, but we'll have a quick go here. And Liquid, they've bought themselves some time, look to push out this mid lane. Meanwhile, DK at top, they're still pressuring, they're still hounding away, trying their best to bring this top lane down.
TC actually is at 4k gold. I can't, this is where you start building items on your own.
Ghost Scepter on his hero. I get like a halberd or something.
Yeah,
or evasion.
You know, get a basher of your own.
Yeah.
Just become the bash lord. Double up.
×2.
I mean, there's a lot of items you can still go for himself. You could get a little Tinker, but I think at this point you just start building your own self as a DPS monster. Get 2 heroes going.
I don't disagree.
I'd create a 6-on-5 scenario.
You're still a melee hero who's not all that good in combat, but like you said, a bash or something isn't all too bad.
What else? He's got 4.3k gold. If his bear goes down, he's useless himself.
Yeah.
But Bulba actually just using the cogs to push him back. DK playing this so methodically. Got 4.3k gold on like everybody.
If this was any other scenario, if this wasn't like a loser
they would've
knockout
just
scenario,
gone
they would have gone in by now. Gyrocopter goes high ground, immediately disrupted. Super's looking for an X. He's running forward, looking for that pickoff. If he gets an X torrent, DK have found the sort of the initiation they need to take the
or
fight.
if he gets a crit.
Yeah.
I mean, he crits at 900 right now.
Yeah.
That'll just be a one fight. Well,
Rax is now being exposed. Korok, he's actually just sort of trying to push out this bottom lane. There's your X. Is there a taunt to throw? They're going to catch up IX Mike. He's got no buyback control. Hexed up. They're using everything just for a Shadow Demon kill, and at this point, anything to make it a 4v5.
Pressure.
Oh man, is there a second wall coming? There's going to be Korok zipping, and he's forced to zip out. He's used all his money. He's so low in HP. He's going to heal himself up, and Fluff gets fought down. This is not looking good for Liquid. This could be the end of Liquid's hopes and dreams. They run in China. They've come so far, done so well. They came so close this game as well, but DK now have 2 sets of Raxes. They've still got 4 heroes alive, only the Lion dead.
Yeah, they're going to go bottom now too with that, and they still have the cheese as well.
A quad siege creep as well. Like everything, stars are lining for DK right now.
Yeah, and 5k gold seems to be the minimum right now.
TC uses his gold. He's like, we've got to do this. I'm buying a BKB on my hero.
They actually have to go now. If they give up the mega creeps, I don't actually know how they're going to deal with that.
It looks like it's the end. DK, 1 Rax, 2 Rax, mega creeps. Liquid have just got to win a fight and go 5 mid here, but I don't see it happening. We're going to see an X torrent. They're just bringing down the Spirit Bear. That's like the scariest hero on the Liquid team right now, and there's no resummon for it. They bring it down. This is the end. This is going to be a GG coming out from Liquid. The boys from the US have done such a great showing here in China, but it's the end of the road for them. DK have taken this last game. DK are going to be going on to the playoffs, having that opening match against RNG Sports, but right now, Liquid, they're fighting to the very end.
Yes, and Korok going to go on to QQQ. I mean, that guy is so tanky.
He's got 4k gold.
He's actually going to pop him off, but a GG well played is called. That's going to be it. DK moves on after starting, what, was it 0-3? Yeah, actually. Was it?
Liquid started 0-2. I think DK started 0-2.
Okay.
I could be wrong there.
I thought they played LGD, IG, and Alliance 3 in a row.
That could be the case. I don't know.
Regardless, I mean,
it's been a long 2 days.
Pretty good comeback.
Yeah.
Well played by DK. I mean,
it was a comeback. Liquid had the big early game advantage. They were up by like 4 or 5k gold.
Yes.
They came back. They bounced back. DK. The main problem for me is Liquid. You could see their inexperience. They looked to keep on pushing when they didn't need to. They had that early game lead, then they just gave DK these team fights. They fought into the Kunkka Torrent boat, the Gyrocopter cooldown, and it didn't go too well for them. Once DK got ahead, they played slow, methodical, 20 minutes with no kills. Chinese Dota.
It just seemed that they were trying to force a bit of unnecessary fights, and then from there, Liquid had a pretty good advantage going in. They killed Burning a lot. They shut off his farm. TC essentially had free farm. He took 2 towers so quickly. And then they just had such a big lead going in. And then after that, they were like, okay, we'll force unnecessary fights. And then the fight at Roshan, where they picked off the Aegis for free, that should have been the turning point for them.
Yes.
Then, I mean, that's just a little bit disappointing because they had all the markings of a comeback. And then the fight at Roshan, where it was just a little bit sloppy.
Inexperience for Liquid, I guess, the main thing there. We'll bring back our sole analyst here at our last game of the day, as it is getting late, very early here at the BTS studio. We've lost Luminous, we've lost AUI. He's actually got a match in like an hour or 2.
I'm going to sleep so hard after this.
Yeah. He's getting some well-deserved rest. LD, where are we at? How are things going here in the tournament? How are you?
I'm a little disappointed. I'm a little bummed as well. I'm a big fan of Liquid, good friends with all their players. But at the same time, I mean, you got to say for DK, well, they've often done this before, actually, in the G1 League, where they haven't always had the strongest performances when you expect it, but they find a way to pull it a win. Yeah, you can see my good buddy here, Settlers of Catan. DK just played better. When it came to the clutch moments, Liquid, a few key mistakes from them. Korok didn't have that ridiculous snowball start. Had to go for a BKB, and not that it was the wrong item, but when you go for a BKB on Storm Spirit, it is pretty hard to snowball because that item, it helps you stay alive in fights, doesn't help you dominate them. But I feel like you guys pretty much analyzed the game well. What I actually want to do is sort of recap and review what happened today. Take a look at our group standings, Kawa, and we can sort of talk about our overall impressions on the day. So Alliance, not much to say there. We talked about them a lot earlier after their last game. 5-0, absolutely dominant. they'll be waiting in that grand finals. But I'm curious to see what you guys think about some of these other teams and their performances. Invictus Gaming, once again, sneaking their way into second place on the standings.
Orange with their typical top 4 finish.
No, this is not our bias
Yeah.
towards IG. This is our settings. I know some people say, "Oh, BTS, huge Chinese fanboys, always giving IG 10s."
Well,
but-
they're not. They're not. There's no like 1 to 6 there. This is just like the group, their record, and then
Well, we had it 1 to 6.
it's open to interpretation. But
Yeah.
as far as the overall standings, you have Orange. I mean, we talk about this time and time again. They're always there in that top 3, top 4. They've done it again. They've snuck through into the playoffs. DK as well snucking through. But the 2 big names who've stood out is Alliance as well as LGD.
There we go. Very nice. So I look at these teams. I feel LGD can go all the way. Alliance obviously have a very good shot of going all the way. They'll have a big strategic advantage as well because the format, it favors the team by far that's in the grand finals because you play all those matches at once on the last day. They get to sit, watch, see what other teams are doing, prepare whatever special strategies they want. But how do you guys feel about these other 2 teams, your 3rd and 4th place teams, Orange as well as DK? Considering the format, considering what you've seen out of them, do you guys think they have a chance against LGD and Alliance? And on that note, Cal, I think we can take a look at our bracket for the playoff round, which will be kicking off tomorrow. It's not an easy format for the 3rd and 4th place teams. We will actually have DK playing Orange. We'll update that in just a second. But Gods, Blitz, you look at this. Do you think that Orange or DK is a legitimate threat to go all the way?
DK for sure. I mean, DK is a team who, even on just their okay days, I mean, which they've had an okay day on day 1, day 2 they bounce back a bit, can cause upsets. They're a championship team. Even in their bad days, if you put them in a championship setting in a big LAN, they can deliver results. It happens at TI2. They were playing kind of poorly at TI2, but they still finished 4th place. That was incredible considering it was Burning +4. But right now it's no longer Burning +4. They've got a much more well-rounded team and they can take it. Orange are kind of your wildcard team. They're hard to predict. They're a lot more volatile with their draft and just their overall play. Sometimes it's sort of sloppy, but it's just high risk, high reward type Dota. I don't know what you think, Will.
I think for me it's the opposite. I think DK, the style they play, it's inferior to the teams already in the pool. I don't think they're bad necessarily, but I think Orange's flair for kind of the confusing style of play that it's not really easy to play against. I think Orange actually has the best chance.
They had a really good game against
those two.
Alliance.
Yes.
The first 34 minutes was really good there, and Alliance just won the late game far more.
Definitely. So I think if anybody has a shot in those lower 2 teams, I'd actually give it to Orange. I mean, DK hasn't done a whole lot to impress me. The game against Alliance was close, but the performances they showed against IG, a weak-looking IG, and especially who is it, LGD, that just absolutely. I mean, LGD actually just crushed everybody, but Alliance. So that's not, I guess, the best comparison. I can't stop blinking, by the way.
Well, it's getting a little bright in here. The daylight's coming out. The vampires, the BTS crew, they need to get into their coffins before it's too late.
We started when it was light outside. We went throughout the night, and now it's morning, and the lights come back out. This is actually really cool because it was the first time we actually started when it was daylight at like 6 p.m. here.
Yeah, we actually had energy when the cast started. What do you know? That didn't last for long. But I actually will, to go back to what you said, I agree with you that I think Orange has a better shot against LGD and Alliance, but I think DK is a really bad matchup for them. I just feel like they don't match up particularly well. It seems like Orange has that tendency to make a lot of mid-game, late-game mistakes. Sure, they can have that dominant start. They have a lot of explosive, talented players. But DK, they're a pretty solid defensive team when they're not drafting crazy, when they're not sending Omni Knight mid and picking Wisp CK on top of it. When they have a more stable, balanced draft, I think Orange is the type of team, like God said, high risk, high reward, and I just don't think that matches up well against a team like DK. So I think Orange, if they can get past DK, have a better shot, but I don't see them really getting past them.
No, I completely agree with you, LD.
So with that being said,
done.
I mean, either way, moving forward towards LGD Alliance, if we had to put some money on the line, what do you guys think? Who's actually going to take the whole event? And keep in mind, all the matches are best of 3. Keep in mind the format. It's all happening in one day. LGD has a bit of an advantage over those 3rd and 4th place teams because they get to sit and watch. And then, obviously, Alliance has the big advantage, just waiting in the grand finals.
I think if it comes down to an LGD versus Alliance Grand Finals, I think it's 50-50. I would put money on LGD, but that's because I always bet on Chinese teams, just because of their track record. But I think it's 50-50.
Yes, I picked Alliance to win this entire thing. I'm going to go with that, continue to go with that. So for me, Alliance.
Yep. For me, well, Tough. I am actually going to go with DK. I had IG DK as my top 2. I was dead wrong on IG, but I still think DK has what it takes. I don't think we've seen their best, but I feel they could deliver. So it's a long shot. The odds, the money, you're probably more likely to make money, earn those rares if you bet on Alliance or maybe on LGD, but I'm just going to say DK because I feel they do have the shot. Whenever you have Bernie as your carry player, I mean, he really carried them at the International too. Maybe he can do it again. But that's the beauty of these predictions. It doesn't matter what we say. It comes down to what the players can do on the field. So, guys, it's been a long day. Thank you all very much for joining us. Unless anybody has any closing thoughts, jokes, or words of wisdom, I think we're going to wrap it up, shut the stream down, and come back in, I think it's 10 hours for our pregame. Yeah, 10 hours for our pregame show for the final day of G1 League Season 5 action. So thank you all for tuning in. We will see you at 5:30 p.m. PDT, which is, again, in about 10 hours and 8 minutes. That's going to be when all the cash is handed out. $65,000 approximately in prizes to be awarded. Alliance guaranteed a top 2 finish. LGD guaranteed a top 3 finish. And then Orange, as well as DK, fight it out starting that 3rd, 4th place match. All matches best of 3. It all goes down tomorrow. We'll see you then.